Hello my friends and welcome back. Today I'm swatching all my Potter's Pink. Guess which one I'm currently using. It's the second tube of Potter's Pink Schminke I have, but I love this color so much that I ask myself, are all Potter's Pink created equals? I don't know actually, so that's why I have collected through time some tubes. Always I buy paint supplies when I find special offers or discounts. So it took me some time, but I have this nice collection of 8 Potter's Pink. We're going to swatch them and answer the questions if all Potter's Pink are created equal. Let's dive in. Let's start by saying that all the Potter's Pink we've seen today, and I think all the Potter's Pink that are on the market, are made with exactly the same pigment, so there is no space margin for a personal subjective interpretation, which is PR 233. It seems that Potter's Pink was invented in Staffordshire. You know that in Staffordshire there are many potteries, many English potteries are in Staffordshire. And at the end of 18th century, apparently, an unknown potter invented this beautiful pigment. And let's start swatching. I have always used this Schminke, as you see, but let's start with the Winsor Newton that in my video is always the brand I start with, because I think that Winsor & Newton is a bit of a benchmark. You know that I love Potter's Pink because it's one of those granulating, soft, weak colors that just like green earth, for instance, terre verte, I just love using. And this is very pigmented actually. I have also put a nice dot of pigment, but I find it surprisingly pigmented. You see, it's a muted pink. It is perfect for painting pottery, of course, but also buildings. In Italy we have houses of this pink, and it has a wonderful granulation. It is the base of many super granulating colors by Schminke. This one by Winsor & Newton is only the first one that we swatch, but I already like it a lot. My second brand is Daniel Smith. So if I could bet now, I would bet that they're all very, very similar, that there is not a big difference across the different brands. Let's see if it is true. I already see some differences, if I'm not wrong. This is slightly warmer, but the difference I think would be absolutely imperceptible if you didn't swatch them side by side. It's only swatching them. I have, as usual, dog hair on my paint. And here we are. I see a difference actually. This is darker, slightly darker. Now, Maimeri. Rosa Potter's Pink. It's basically the first time I swatched them all, because I've only used, although it's a color that I use very much, because it adds so much value, I think, to your sketches. It's the first time I swatch other brands. And here too, I see a slight difference. I'm not sure that you can see it on screen. I hope you do. And I think it's more pinkish. It's less muted than Daniel Smith. Absolutely less muted. But before we judge, we need to let them dry. Very subtle differences so far. Not a difference that would make me switch from one brand to the other. Then my Schminke. Let's see if I have to squeeze. And so bye-bye. Okay, this is my current Potter's Pink, the one that made me fall in love with this color. Oh, it's such a beautiful color. Once again, we need to wait until it dries, but I see subtle differences. And Schminke is more like Daniel Smith, more muted, I think, almost identical. Then Roman Szmal. Usually Roman Szmal has full pans, but it was not available on Jackson, so I had to buy the single pan. Roman Szmal rewets so easily. I want to take a lot of color because it wouldn't be fair. This is in tube, the other ones are in tube. Wow, really beautiful. More pigment. This is maybe slightly more rosy, just like the Maimeri. Less on the dark brick side. Wonderful granulation. Then I have Michael Harding. Every time I swatch Michael Harding, I find that it is slightly different from other brands. Let's see if it is the case with the Potter's Pink as well. I don't think so. No, it's not that different. Not that different. Very much the same. So now I have Potter's Pink for 5 generations in my family. And slightly, I think that I have put the same quantity of color, and it's slightly less intense than Maimeri or Daniel Smith or Schminke maybe. Then I have 2 handmade brands, and I have Della Magna, which I really like. It's this artisanal manufacturer in Italy, in Tuscany, Della Magna, that makes very high quality paint using historic pigments. So he doesn't make fancy colors like B-layering or super granulating, just very strict historic pigments. Beautiful. This is quite pigmented. And Wallace Seymour. There was a slight binder problem with the Wallace Seymour, but it's fixed, and it's wonderful, this one as well. This proves my point that although there are minor differences among brands, they look very much the same. But I already, now that they're drying, can you see the differences? I hope you can on screen, because I see some differences. but differences that really you can only perceive if you swatch them side by side. Picked one by one, I don't think you can see the differences. Okay, let's go to some mixes. Exciting. So for the mixes, I'm using a palette with colors from different brands, and I will use Winsor Newton. So I put a dot here, and let's go playing. This is pure Potter's Pink, Naples Yellow, Manganese Blue, Yellow Ochre, Cobalt Turquoise, Burnt Sienna, Cerulean Blue, Titanium Buff, India Yellow, Titanium Buff, we'll dry these beautiful colors, and we come back. We try a sketch now. Oh yes, they are all dry now, our potter's pink, and the questions are all potter's pink created equals yes and no, actually, because I think that you can see subtle differences here. Some are warmer, like more muted, like Daniel Smith or Schminke. Maimeri is more vibrant. Roman Szmal is more reddish. Della is very muted. They're all very, very granulating, especially Wallace Seymour, but they're all very granulating. I don't see, maybe Michael Harding slightly less granulating and Winsor Newton slightly less granulating, but it's also the human factor here. I'm not a machine when I swatch. There might be some differences in the quantity, but they're all very granulating at the end of the day. They're all very beautiful. So if you swatch them side by side, yes, there are some subtle differences, but I wouldn't say that there is one that is more beautiful than the other. There is not a prom queen in this contest. They're all very beautiful. It's a wonderful pigment. It adds subtlety and character and style to your painting. I think that it really adds a touch of class to a sketch. It's such a charming, fascinating, historic yet contemporary, because it's so there's a lot of hype about potter's pink. Everyone likes it. So it's contemporary, but at the same time, it's a historic pigment. And just pick what you, from what I see, just pick what it is less expensive, more convenient, or just you like the brand, or just whatever you like. You cannot go wrong with the potter's pink. There are differences, but not so huge to make me prefer one to the other. Now that I see them, maybe altogether, maybe, I don't know, maybe Roman Szmal. No, I don't have a preferred, and I'm sure that if you don't switch them side by side, you will never understand there is a difference. As per the mixes, they're not completely dry. There's a corner here which is not completely dry, but this was Naples yellow, cerulean blue, manganese blue. This was cobalt turquoise, beautiful mix. This was burnt sienna. How pretty this is. Cerulean blue, yes, I said so. And this is, this was yellow ochre. So this is with yellow ochre, and it's a wonderful mix, yellow ochre and potter's pink. And this is, here, this is India yellow, color that I adore. And titanium buff here, titanium buff. So what can I say, that in mixes you need to be careful because it's a weak color, and the risk is that it is overwhelmed if you use a second color in the mix that is too strong. But if you pick the right colors. I think that Potter's Pink is incredibly beautiful in mixes because it takes out the granulation, especially if you mix it with another granulating colors, like for instance here you see with cerulean blue, two granulating colors, wonderful. Cobalt turquoise, it's almost a gray, but look at how beautiful, delicate is this gray. With burnt sienna is wonderful. With titanium buff, look at this, absolutely fantastic. And I like all these mixes, even with burnt sienna, it makes burnt sienna warmer and more granulating. With yellow ochre, it makes a warm brick color, which is not dull, however. Burnt sienna also is very, very nice. It tends to separate and to compete for the paper, so it separates. Wonderful, wonderful mix with burnt sienna. Naples yellow. So I invite you to experiment and let me know what kind of mixes you like to make with your Potter's Pink, because that's very interesting. Was just playing, but I'm sure that if you have Potter's Pink, you maybe have your own mixes. So please do let me know, because I'm always very curious. And about my sketch, you know that I think that you can check the potential of a color better if you try it on paper. Here it's not of contrast, sorry, but okay, it wasn't enough, wasn't dry enough. Okay, and I have used Potter's Pink here in this side, the sunny side of the building, mixed with Naples yellow. Here mixed with cerulean for the dark side of the building, and in the sky and the trees. The Potter's Pink is, it mixes so well with other colors and it's so versatile. I like to use it for buildings. This just as usual a small sketch just to show you what result you can have with the Potter's Pink. And here you are. I am just waiting for your comments and your feelings about Potter's Pink, how you use it, what you use it for, how you mix it. Please do let me know. Thanks a lot for having watched this video with me. I wanted to film Potter's Pink comparison for such a long time. I'm happy that we have it today here. Oh, you know what? There is no shadow under the... There's no shadow under the trees. And ciao ciao, ciao from Elisabetta. Ciao.